Hey everyone, welcome back to the Gamer's Refuge. Today we're going to look at some armor and weapons in Skyrim. Currently you can see my character, Kira, here, is wearing the Vampire Royal Armor with, he's got the Vampire Gauntlets, which have the sharp claw tips at the end, and Vampire Boots. So that's what that looks like. You get that after killing Lord Harkin in the Dawn Guard expansion. Let's go ahead and move on to some regular armor. Alright, this here is just your basic iron armor, except for the main armor on the chest is banded iron, which is a little bit stronger than regular iron. And she's wielding a regular iron sword. Nothing really special about this armor. You can get this early on in the game and all, and it's like the first set of really strong heavy armor that you can get for your character. Let's move on to the next armor. Here we have the steel armor, which is a step up from the iron, and this here is also available early on in the game. I particularly like, the way the helmet looks, the way the horns come down the way they do, and with the spike coming up from the middle of the helmet. This is, a fairly badass set of armor. And, of course, she's got a steel sword sheathed, taking them out. Of course, when you're in attack mode, you have to view from behind. But, I got her dual wielding steel swords. So let's go and put them away. But all in all, this is a very good set of armor. I got the Nordic carved boots and the Nordic gauntlets. So, this is a really good armor, to get early on in the game as well. Moving on to the next set of armor. Here's the Dwarven Armor. As you can see, it's fully concealing the face and everything else. It's not really, this type of armor really isn't like my favorite armor or nothing. It is rather resilient and strong for, the time period when, you're able to use it. But, like I said, just the look of it and all, I'm not a big fan of it, and it is extremely heavy. So, it all depends on your personal taste. I personally don't really care for it, but I'm sure there's people out there that probably love it. So let's move on to the next armor. This here's from the light armor. This is glass armor, and of course you got a glass sword on her side. All in all, I think it's a really nice looking armor. But I'm more into the heavy armor and stuff myself. But as far as the beauty of it and all, it is a beautiful armor. And you can tell it's based off of like elven armor and such. But I'm not sure if I want to wear an armor made out of glass. But hey, to each their own. But like I said, it is a beautiful looking armor. So that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the next armor. This is the carved Nordic Armor. Like I said, not one of my favorites or whatever, but it is a fairly badass looking set of armor. And on the back, I got a carved Nordic battle axe, great axe or whatever. It's the two-handed. So, like I said, all in all, it's a pretty badass looking set of armor. So let's go ahead and move on to the next armor. This here's the Orcish Armor. Not a bad looking set of armor if you can get past the green color of it all. And of course a Orcish sword to her side. I do my best to match the armor and weapons, with the same style if at all possible. The Orcish armor is a pretty strong heavy armor, and probably some of the best armor you're going to come across until you're able to craft ebony armor. So, but like I said, the look of it is so-so. I mean, if you have an orc character, then it fits perfectly. But it kind of looks a little out of place in my opinion on a human character. So, but let's go ahead and move on to the next armor. This is Steelplate Armor. Yeah, you can see it. It's definitely a very sturdy armor. Actually got a silver sword hanging to her side, but it's pretty badass looking. It's more of a sleek, cleaner type badass look, but it's still pretty fucking badass. Got the the engravings on the gauntlets and on the boots and all that, so it's actually pretty detailed. You can see the carving work in the breastplate as well and collar. So this is actually a fairly intricate piece of armor. So pretty damn good looking set of armor, and pretty damn strong as well. So let's move on to the next armor. This is my most favorite armor out of the whole game. This is Daedric Armor. I just love the way the black and the red blend together, and are fused and all. It just the color scheme alone is awesome. And of course I got the Daedric sword hanging to her side. The helmet is absolutely totally badass, along with the shoulder pauldrons, and the boots, gloves, everything about it. This armor just screams badass. Like I said, this is my favorite armor out of the whole game. I love this armor. So let's go ahead and continue on. This is the Dragonplate Armor. You gotta have 100 smithing skill in order to create this armor here. And this is the heaviest version of this armor. You can create dragon scale armor, and it looks a little, it looks slightly different, but pretty much, it's on the same page with, the coloring and styling and all. But this is the dragon plate. It's the heaviest dragon armor you can get, and it is pretty badass looking. I still like the Daedric armor better, but the helmet, the dragon plate helmet on this set, I do have to admit is pretty damn awesome. So, and of course, dragon sword is hanging off. Dragon bone sword is hanging off to the side. But yeah, this armor is created, of dragon bones, and I think it's like iron ingots and shit like that. So yeah, this is like the highest, the top tier armor of the game. But like I said, I still prefer Daedric armor better. So, but let's go ahead and move on. I'm going to move on to some armors that are a little less common, or people may not use, as much, but I also want to include them in this video. This is some ancient Falmer armor. Of course, I'm wearing an ancient Nord helmet to go with it, because I don't think I have the ancient Falmer helmet to go with this set. But if I do, then I may have misplaced it. Also got a ghost sword hanging to her side. I just thought it was a nice touch. But yeah, again, this is another fairly intricate piece of armor. A decent bit of detail went into it. I think it's got a pretty nice look. Again, doesn't rank up there with my favorite armors, but it is a very nice looking armor. So moving on. This is Mirax armor from the Dragonborn expansion. After you defeat him or whatever, just run up to where his dead body's lying and you take his armor. But this is the very armor and the very mask that he wore. So is pretty cool. I pretty much just kept it as a souvenir, and usually have it hanging on a mannequin in my trophy room. So, or actually in my armory. So it's pretty much, I just keep it for a display piece, but yeah, pretty neat. So yeah, moving on. This is bone mold armor. You can actually craft it or whatever. I think the first time I came across this type of armor was over during the Dragonborn expansion in Solstheim. Some of the guards wear this kind of armor. And of course, you know, there's a bone mold shield. So, you know, it's alright. It's definitely not one of my favorites. I actually think it's quite ugly. But, you know, if you like it, then, you know, it's all a matter of personal taste, really. So, you know, like I said, definitely not my favorite, and I don't really care for the look of it, but I did want to include it on the video because, you know, it's, you know, one of the lesser seen armors. So let's move on. This is the Pentek Akalitis armor. They're the guardians of the Imperial Emperor, and I have a regular steel sword just hanging to her side. You know, it's a okay looking piece of armor. I kind of like the color scheme on it and stuff. But yeah, that's the armor of the Pentek Akalitis. So moving on. This, in case you don't recognize it, is Victoria's wedding dress and wedding wreath, sandals, and yes, even if you can see it on her hand, her wedding ring. Yeah, that was the Emperor's cousin, who unfortunately met her untimely death. So, you know, why let good clothes go to waste, huh? But I wanted to include it on this, even though it's technically not armor, it's clothing. Yeah, it is pretty nice looking. So, yeah, let's move on. I got one more thing to show you, and I think we're going to call it a wrap on this video. Alright, for the most part, the armor on the midsection and legs is wolf armor. You get that from the companions upon completing their entire quest line and finishing it. And they, in turn, give you the wolf armor. Now I have a scaled helmet, scaled bracers, and scaled boots on, because unfortunately they don't give you anything else to go with that armor. They just give you the armor for the body itself, and you're left to your own devices as far as your footwear, handwear, and headwear. So, get a little bit of closer look, and you look at the belt line there, and you see it looks a little, you know, creepy and evil. Then around the neckline, you got the, I guess that's supposed to be like a wolf or something on the neckline as well. But yeah, it's definitely very primal looking. You know, I actually quite like it. You know, with the fur and all that good stuff. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. There's a ton of other kinds of armor in Skyrim. You know, this is just a little bit. This is just some of the armors that I've noticed and I thought, you know, really stood out. You know, along with some of the more basic armors and stuff. But you know, so but yeah, it's just armors that you know, basically, you know, stood out to me. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, click that thumbs up button down below, and leave some comments down below if you like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And as always, I appreciate you coming by to watch my videos. And until next time, I will see you in the games.